Welcome one and all to another episode of PWS. Today, we are doing something a little bit different. We are going to cut a little break in the tournament action to have a 5-man Money in the Bank ladder match to determine who's going to win Money in the Bank. Thought we'd switch it up a little bit, and here we have someone making their debut here on PWS. We have Nathan the Great, and bro's looking pretty jacked, you know. It's going to be interesting to see what Nathan the Great can do, because we have never seen him here on PWS before, so seeing what he can do is definitely going to be interesting. And I mean, he's definitely very tall, he's pretty jacked as well, so we're about to see what he can do. He's definitely, I mean, bro's actually, like, it's kind of crazy that, you know, bro's got this much mass on him. And here he is, you know, just kind of giving the crowd don't really know how to react to Nathan, which is a completely understanding, completely new guy here, but they don't know what's going on. Bro is really sending off the pyro though, so it's gonna be interesting to see how well he does. Yeah, judging physique-wise, he's probably gonna be more of a powerhouse if anything, but only time is really gonna tell for that much, folks. And here comes the next person, another person making their debut here on PWS. We have Vanos Gaming making his debut. That's right, Vanos, another new guy coming here to the show. And what an interesting way to start yourself out. Both Nathan and Vanos starting themselves out on PWS by being in the Money in the Bank match. And that's insane because, I mean, the thing is, despite the fact that we haven't crowned our champion yet, you know, if we crown our Money in the Bank holder, whoever wins that championship, you gotta wonder if the winner of this matchup here is gonna cash in and try to make a name for themselves straight away. And Vanos just doesn't really seem to care what's going on, really. Vanos just, from what we've known about Vanos, or at least from what we've heard prior to him coming to the show, he is more or less just completely chaotic. He doesn't really care about himself, he doesn't really care about anybody else's well-being in the ring either. He's just there to do whatever, and maybe pick up a few wins, but honestly, just judging by his attitude coming to the ring, I don't feel like he could care less if he wins this match or not. I think he's just happy to be here because he gets to beat people up, so it is what it is. And just being a complete goofball, you know? That's just something Vanos would typically do, it seems. And here we have the next person coming out, somebody who didn't really get to have that much of a showing in the tournament. That's right, we have Queso making another appearance here on the show. Queso, in his first round matchup against Jacksepticeye, unfortunately came up short, not able to advance into the semifinals of the tournament. And Queso redeemed himself here. Could Queso win that briefcase and possibly still become champion? That's a good question. And it's going to be interesting to see how well Queso does here. And I mean, I don't know, man, this just doesn't really seem like Queso's match type, to be honest. I mean, climbing the ladder is probably not going to be his strong suit by any means, but again, when there's a will, there's a way. There's a big opportunity for him on the line, so he'll probably manage it somehow. And Queso, I mean, but even so, I mean, freakishly quick though. That's one thing we've known about Queso. Queso's incredibly quick and actually fairly athletic for somebody his size, along with the typical strength, so we already know what Queso can do, and he's pretty impressive from what we've seen. And here we have the next person coming out, another person making their debut on PWS here. That's right, another debut, and Professor Rocket making his debut here on PWS. And a nice backflip right there, so Professor Rocket is going to be more of the athletic type, it seems. We don't necessarily have too many high flyers, but Professor Rocket definitely seems that that's going to be his strong suit, mostly focusing on high-flying offense opposed to anything else. And the crowd seemed pretty excited. It's kind of more of a mixed reaction right now. I mean, we've never seen Professor Rocket on the show before, so we really don't know what he's going to bring to the table. But, you know, he's doing lots of flips into the ring and everything, so we can probably expect a lot of flippy base offense in the ring, but we'll see. He's got a nice attire as well. Professor Rocket, definitely the more decked out superstar coming here onto the show, obviously. I mean, he's got a nice futuristic look to him. Definitely nice to see, for sure. And finally, the last person entering this matchup, this person right here is little by little becoming more and more obsessed with trying to find a way to get that World Championship. It is Lennox O. Lennox O, unfortunately, also went out in the first round to Ethan McCoy in the tournament, but it hit Lennox pretty hard. He's having a hard time accepting the fact that he was put down, because Lennox O truly believed that he was the proper person, that he was supposed to be the one to go all the way through the tournament and be called champion. That was his whole thing right there. And it didn't happen. He got knocked out in the first round. But part of that you could argue is probably his fault, considering that he was very showboaty in that matchup, and that he was taking Ethan lightly, and that was what caused his ultimate defeat. And that's a fair argument that most people will probably make here tonight. But Lennox O, he's a lot more pissed off. He's more serious now. He really wants to find some way to win that championship. The match is underway. Lennox O and Vanos squaring up right away. We have Nathan casually going to the outside of the ring, going for a ladder straight away. We have Queso and Professor Rocket fighting as well. And Vanos, whatever that was, just completely flipped Lennox onto his face. Professor Rocket shot to Queso. Lennox O getting thrown out of the ring, and Vanos is going straight after Lennox O. And Nathan is going to join them, and Queso is already climbing the ladder and going for the briefcase. But Professor Rocket, a massive forearm shot right there. Professor Rocket knocking Queso off the ladder. Nathan the Great is fighting Lennox O on the outside. Professor Rocket's going for that briefcase again. Vanos pushing the ladder over. Lennox got hit with a sidewalk slam on the outside, but tipping up. But Nathan, seeing some nice stuff from Nathan here. What's Vanos gonna do? Ooh, no. Nathan just casually getting Lennox taken out of the occasion. Snapdragon suplex from Vanos. Queso wrestling Nathan the Great onto the ground. Ashes hard to call here, folks. Lots of people in the ring. Lennox O telling somebody to bring it on out there. Vanos hoisted Professor Rocket up, but to no avail. Lennox back in the ring, swinging wildly at Vanos, and Vanos is just getting the better of him at this point. Queso going after Nathan the Great on the outside. Lennox O throws Professor Rocket out. Vanos from behind, another Snapdragon onto Lennox O. Vanos, very impressive. Professor Rocket, Nathan the Great, and Vanos all looking very good so far for their first ever matches here. And Vanos, nice elbow drop after a drop home. Nice stuff there. Lennox caught him with a face plant, though, putting Vanos onto the ground. And Lennox is throwing Vanos, and that doesn't tell you how annoyed he is right now. I don't know what does. And Vanos not too happy about it. He just punts him in the stomach with the kitchen sink. And Vanos going for a package with the Psycho Cutter on to the ladder. Yikes. Professor Rocket's head snapping off there. Got action on the outside of the ring, and Nathan throwing the shot into Queso's stomach. Nathan the Great got some nice right, and a Hurricane Rana. Whoa, Nathan showing some impressive athleticism for a guy his size. Professor Rocket recovering from the attack on Vanos. Delivered a kick right there, whipping Vanos into the corner. Professor Rocket and Vanos, they're squaring up. Queso's getting punished on the ground. Nice bridging German suplex there from Vanos onto Professor Rocket. And what's Nathan doing? Lennox on the outside. Nathan, what on earth? And nice slam onto the outside. Vanos is going to the very top rope, and Vanos, there it is. The flying owl connects onto Professor Rocket. And Nathan is just hammering away on Queso, throwing him around. Lennox going after Vanos, and Professor Rocket's kind of knocked a little loopy from that flying owl. And Vanos, what is he looking for here? And a nice double underhook suplex onto the outside onto Lennox. So Professor Rocket has managed to recover. Lennox face planting him there. And what is Professor Rocket doing, man? I don't know what bro was trying to go for there. I think Professor Rocket still knocked a little bit loopy from when his head snapped off the ladder. And and a gutbuster. I think Professor Rocket kind of saved Vanos a little bit from going neck first onto that ladder. That could have been bad. Lennoxo, Northern Lights onto Professor Rocket. Queso throwing Nathan out of the ring, and I don't know what Queso's looking to go for here. Maybe looking to climb the ladder? Yes, I think so. Yeah, Queso taking his time, probably didn't know what to do, but Queso grabbing for the briefcase, but no, Nathan is right there to stop him. And now Vanos is going to climb the ladder here. Vanos knocking Queso off. Vanos, what are you doing? Vanos going to the very top of the bank. Oh! Vanos and straight back to his feet. Vanos just went crashing from the very top of the ladder. The ladder came down and cracked him in the skull, and then Vanos just got right back up like a mad lad. I mean, Vanos definitely has a high pain tolerance for sure. Bro just got right back up. And Professor Rocket setting up a concoction out there, a ladder bridge. I think the effects are finally getting to him. And Queso drops his body weight with a splash onto him. And I think falling off the ladder, I think Vanos now finally felt the effects of that. Professor Rocket stunned against the ladder. Professor Rocket still knocked the loopy from earlier. And Queso with that amazing neck breaker right there onto Vanos. And now Queso setting up the ladder. And Lennoxo, he's just, again, Lennoxo still overconfident, as you would probably say it. Nathan, oh my god! Vanos just his neck rolled off the ladder after getting charged by Nathan. And now Nathan looking for a powerbomb, probably looking to powerbomb through the ladder bridge, but no, Vanos manages to just get out of it. And what the heck is Professor Rocket doing here? A backflip into a deadlift German suplex. Nice stuff. And Nathan and Queso working together. Vanos, I think, is finally knocked out of the equation for a little bit. And now Nathan probably looking to set up the ladder again. Lennoxo and Professor Rocket, they're squaring up on the outside. Professor Rocket whipped into the barricade. Nathan draped across the ropes there, and Vanos shoulder tackle in the back of Lennox, and Vanos will not stay down. You think Vanos, out of all people, would just stay down after everything he's gone through, but nope. He's still got plenty of fight left, just throwing him there, and a nice arm drag onto the ladder there. But Nathan had the resilience to hang in there. And he floors Queso. This time Queso dropped to the ground. And Lennoxo, there it is. The Fisherman Brainbuster onto Nathan the Great. And Queso whipped onto the ladder, and Professor Rocket, I think he's looking to put Queso out of this match entirely. Looking at Queso, but oh, Professor Rocket having second thoughts there as he hits a pump kick on Lennoxo. Probably realizing that he doesn't want to jeopardize his own body and chances of winning the briefcase just to put Queso out for a bit. Queso going after Nathan on the outside. And now Lennoxo getting picked up. Queso is just beating Nathan in the head on the outside. Professor Rocket, nice snap suplex on the Lennoxo. Vanos is just bumping into him, and Vanos gets put on the ground again. Queso is just getting beat around the ring by Nathan the Great. Lennox countered whatever Professor Rocket was looking for there. And now Professor Rocket, now he's whipped onto the ladder. And Queso gets hit with the lumbar check. Vanos power slammed by Nathan the Great. Queso is out of the ring for now. And now Nathan, what is he looking for here? Oh my god, he's got Vanos up. Pedigree perhaps? Nope. And just dropping Vanos right on his face. What a unique maneuver there. Nathan's got Professor Rocket up for something. For Professor Rocket managing to counter it there. And Queso is telling someone to bring it on. Oh, and Nathan got hit with a brainbuster, and it looks like Vanos and Queso are going to score up, and Vanos is just taking a beating at this point. He's been dropped on his face so many times. Queso back into the ring. Don't know what the heck we're going to see here now. Vanos springboard. Oh! What was Vanos going for? He just springboard trying to knock out everybody. It didn't go to his favor though. Vanos just hurting himself even more. Lennoxo with a nice exploder suplex. Queso got clotheslined, the back of his head smashing off the ladder. That can't be good. And Lennoxo, interesting strategy, locking in a knee bar. I mean, I guess if you take away Vanos' leg and weaken it, he's going to make it harder for him to climb the ladder. And Queso with a spinebuster, and Nathan's head just double bounced off the very last bit of the ladder. face plant onto Queso from Lennox. Queso went head first into the ladder again. I mean, Queso's taking a lot of head trauma as well. Lennox, the strength to drape him onto the ropes like that. That's a lot of man to pick up for sure. And I don't know what the heck you're doing, Vanos. As Lennox just frog splashing Queso. Professor Rocket gonna look for the briefcase. I was seeing the opportunity, but Lennox is just like, get down from there. And Vanos and Nathan squaring up on the outside. And Lennox, shot to the lower back there of Professor Rocket. Another shot there. And getting Professor Rocket out of the equation. There's Queso. Queso and Lennox climbing at the exact same time. Interesting. Both men on the rope. Lennox shot there. And Lennox looking for a cutter off the rope. Off the ladder, I mean. But no. Queso using his body weight to just stay there. And Lennox, landing head first. He's probably out cold, at least stunned. And Vanos trying to get Professor Rocket off the ladder. Queso looking for a superplex, but no, Professor Rocket wiggling his way out of it. And he drops Queso head first on that bottom rung, and Queso is out. Vanos is taking. Nathan is going out there. Vanos is spinning Lennox around. I don't think Vanos even really cares about this match. They've been trying to stop Professor Rocket in time from getting the briefcase, but I think it is too late. And that is it, folks. Professor Rocket, in his debut, wins the Money in the Bank briefcase. What a match, folks. Complete pure chaos. Lots of debuting faces, but Professor Rocket out of the debutants actually picks up the briefcase. You gotta wonder, will Professor Rocket be aiming to become champion in the very near future? Only time will tell, folks. But with that being said, I have been Mr. Pizza. Thank you all so much for watching this episode of PWS. Next episode, we are going to be into the semifinals of our tournament. And yeah, that being said, I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out, everyone.